And now we're gonna do something everybody like to do. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yo, this is Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5.
This is Mark Ray.
This is Craig Charles. And you are now tuned into Joints and Jams
With Shaka Loves You.
with Shaka Loves You.
With Shaka Loves You on Soho Radio. Listen on the slide.
You gotta have tiny legs.
Nah, longer fingers, I think. Yeah.
I can ruin any party, mate.
Just say no. and good luck on y'all show, man, for real.
All right. So we are joined by our favourite Bristol duo, the Allergies, Adam and Roy. How we doing, boys?
Oi, oi. Yeah, all good. How are you guys?
Yeah, we're not bad.
Good, man.
It's pissing it down in Glasgow today.
Yeah. All right, then. See you later. Bye.
Standard for us, but
Standard, yeah.
yeah, we're doing all
Although
right.
you caught the sun yesterday. Jamie, with a spot of camping in.
Is he a bit
On
pink?
the last day of Scottish summer, I think. Apparently, winter starts today.
Yeah, it was like beautiful yesterday, and then back to torrential rain today. So yeah, I was lucky getting out for last
So
of the
how
summer
have you
wine.
how have you been amusing yourselves through these strange times where we can't do the things that we normally do? I'm interviewing you now.
I
know, we've just-
You turned that round pretty quickly, didn't you?
Well, I think probably like you guys, we've just become professional cam girls over the last 6 months or whatever. Obviously, I want to chat loads about live streaming because obviously you boys have been doing it pretty well. But yeah, I mean, we're pretty much just trying to write as much music as we can, trying to just keep our heads above the proverbial water of
Stay visible, as it were.
Yeah.
You know.
I kind of sometimes I wonder. I don't know. Like, are we doing ourselves a misjustice by giving ourselves away for free all the time, or are we keeping in people's faces, and that's a good thing?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm actually interested to see who's going to go down the sort of pay route for the live stream thing.
Yeah.
Who's going to do that first?
Yeah.
I think it's a big step to take if everyone's doing it for free and you're the first one to come out going, you know, you got to pay for this. But I mean, if you could maybe put on like a live streaming event during the day or at night, the weekend with a few people, and at least that way, you know, everyone's going to get.
That's what I was thinking.
A
Like,
few beers out of it.
Yeah, do once every month or something. Do a proper event that lasts a while with some other DJs and charge a $5 or something. Does that might add a bit more value to it and make people turn up? I don't know.
You
Definitely
need someone who understood the back end a bit more. Because
you understand the back end, don't you,
Roy?
Roy?
Would you
walk right into that one?
Can't tee us up like that.
He backed right into that one.
Yeah. But yeah, someone understood how the logistics and technical side of it work, because you don't want to put something on and it just be freezing up and then people are late.
Yeah.
As you program and stack all the content and get it ready on, I don't know what kind of bandwidth you'd need to have a full Mixcloud event programmed in for the day with no breaks and things like that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, for me, like straight away, I'm thinking something like that would probably work on Twitch, for example, because if you look at what the Next Men and A-Skills and those guys are doing on the Thursdays with the Stream Raiders, it seems like that platform's kind of set up with the functionality to be able to just swap between DJs pretty easily. I think with Facebook it might have to be pre-recorded, some of the stuff as well, and then you're going to be just muted or taken down after 45 minutes.
Well, I think those guys have worked out something with a guy called DJ Localhost who keeps cropping up on Twitch channels, and he's developed a kind of hosting service that all their streams go through that allow them to do essentially a back-to-back changeover without any gaps. So that's proprietary software that one person's got down. So
right, okay, I have seen his name pop up.
Very, very helpful. Do chat with him. He tried to explain it to us, but it made my head bleed. So, but apparently it's quite simple. But so am I. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely need to look into that. But maybe we should try and do something like that. I'd kind of thought about maybe trying to do some sort of Sunday thing. I mean, it's already kind of happening. We're doing the brunch stream 12 to 3. Like, you've got X-Ray Ted doing the morning thing, and then Next Men jump in.
That's a lovely thing because of the tone, the time of the day, the way people absorb it. It's not a load of people trying to cram their most party sets at you. It's just
Yeah.
got a bit more movement to it. And that would suit a kind of casual all-day viewing session rather than like power punch headline sets back to
You
back.
can have
So,
the best spot, basically.
yeah, and got a great name for it as well. And that's
Yeah,
half
well,
the battle, isn't
I
it?
mean, like, I'm not going to claim credit for that. I can't remember who. I think it was like Miles Medina was doing like a Sunday brunch thing, and I was like, "Pfft." He's American,
No.
so it's not going to be the same
Yoink, yeah.
thing. Yeah. But yeah, it's just nice because you can play pretty much wherever the hell you want.
Yeah.
As long as it's brunch vibes. But yeah, I don't think people would. Sorry, on you go, right?
No, I was just going to say the trick is like what we're doing is to keep it regular and maybe a little longer than we do it. Like what you do is enough time for people to get into it, settle into the groove. Because some of our ones, you kind of blink and you miss it. So it's nicer to run a bit longer. But
Tricky when you're playing 45s though, because it's like you've only got so many records, and you just you're doing hours and hours, you just end up running out basically.
Yeah. So for people watching or listening, when is your regular streams, guys? Because you do webcam jams, right? Is it all 45s?
Yes,
Every
always.
time?
Yeah,
Okay.
every time. 9 till 10 p.m. on a Saturday, and we're on Twitch, on Mixcloud, and YouTube, I believe.
Very good. Go and check it
Yeah,
out.
that's-
It's great show.
interestingly, we've just been putting some extra time in to take the channel up to affiliate status, but I haven't gone through all the hoops to properly authorize that yet. And I'm not entirely sure what that entitles you to or means, but I think you get a 30-day period to amass a lot of credit in their eyes, such as streaming on 8 separate days for 8 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
So hit that mark just for it to be available now. So I'm going to look into that, but I don't want to really, we don't really want to maybe subscribe or stick like a 30-second advert at the start, because when you're flipping in and trying to check someone's channel out, and that's the worst amount of advert time to be greeted with. But it does open up kind of fun emojis and things people can launch into the chat. And those, tiny little pointless things that people can achieve over time. That's the ultimate thing, the incremental thing that gives you a bit more character on there. I think that's the real selling point, rather than trying to beg an extra couple of quid off them for your channels.
Yeah, but we that's something that we've I think we've sort of, well, maybe reluctantly at first, but like have fully embraced now is the whole Twitch thing. Because like talking about the affiliate thing, I think we got that, didn't we, Jamie? I'm pretty sure we got that.
I think like early on in lockdown, SoundCloud, if you had a certain SoundCloud subscription, you got like an automatic buy.
Might be Amazon Prime, something like that. Because that seems to be connected to Twitch.
Yeah, see, I think if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can subscribe to people's channels for free, I think. But I'm sure we got
that's right.
I'm sure we got the affiliate through SoundCloud. We got like an automatic.
Yeah, it was a deal that they were doing, and I think if you had a SoundCloud like Pro or Unlimited account, you could sign up straight away for the affiliate thing on Twitch, right. But you still have to get all the like emote slots and all that, you know, all the other cool stuff. You do need to, like you're saying, you do need to sort of accrue the amount of hours streaming. But the next one above that is like the partner status, and that's like, I think you got to be like streaming 24 hours a day for the rest of your life.
It's like Superman 3. You got to pretty much be covered in wires and turn entirely into the machine.
Yeah.
Totally.
Go entirely 2D. Yeah, so I hit that level, so I'm happy with that. So we'll see what that unfolds.
Just like, how long are we gonna have to do this for?
I know, that's the thing, right?
I don't know. Obviously, it'd be nice to keep it up on some level, even when we do return to normal. But
well, you guys have got a gig with Craig Charles coming up, don't you? Next month.
Yeah, in October on the 9th in Liverpool. So that's pretty much the first one. We've done a little record store day gig in a record store, but didn't get paid. But it was a cool thing to do. Sold a few records.
Nice.
Bought more than we sold though. So yeah, the Craig Charles thing. It's a sit down affair, you know, a social kind of through the day into the evening kind of thing. But I'm grateful for something. So
Yeah, totally, man. I mean, you guys have just put out your 4th album as well, Say the Word, right? And you would normally, I suppose, be in the studio before that rehearsing. You know, you've got all the guys' guest appearances on there. And then you'd normally be out touring that at festivals all summer, and then gigs like the Craig Charles gig would be, you know, a perfect place to perform that.
Yeah, we just didn't fancy it, so
not really into it this year.
I mean, how does that? I mean, it must be good, obviously, getting booked to do that, because it's a great gig to do. But I mean, it's such a weird situation to sort of be in.
Yeah. What, playing the Craig Charles thing?
No, just in the situation that we're in, getting booked for something like that and not being able to do stuff that you would, you know, normally be doing.
Yeah, I mean, we always make, well, more recently, we make these albums with a view to performing it live with the band and stuff. So that was the plan, and, you know, gone through all sorts of nonsense of various agents and kind of managed to get a really decent looking summer tour in place, and lots of time wasted, you know, booking up those gigs and stuff. And it's a weird one. It's half disappointing, and I've half really enjoyed it, because I've been around every weekend this summer and just got to hang out with my family and just do the nice stuff that I've not normally got to do at the weekend.
I'm in bed by 8. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Totally. And running 10K every day.
I've really come to realise how badly the hangovers were messing me up as well. The late nights and the driving back, and you just think you think that's normal to feel like that on a Monday or Tuesday, but it doesn't need to be like that, does it? But yeah, overall, definitely miss it, and would go.
Yeah. And when did the album come out? What was the release date for the album?
July 13th,
17th,
something like that.
So did you?
That's about right.
Was that dialed in before COVID hit, or was that a decision that you made?
We pulled it forward a bit because of the single Felony blew up a bit more than we expected. So it was like, right, capitalize on this while eyes are on us. So bring the date forward a bit more, and that was right.
Yeah.
Also, all the albums were getting pushed back because no one wanted to release an album in this weird time, and they were like, right, can't tour it, so let's push it back. Hopefully, we'll be able to gig it by September. And ours was due to come out in September.
Right.
We thought, no, let's flip it. Let's do the reverse of that. Let's bring it out.
This will all blow over. It'll be fine.
We've had a great reaction.
Those pessimistic mugs.
So yeah, it was a big change of game plan, and I'm glad we did it because it gave us something to focus on. Yeah, it was well received. We sold a lot, which is good.
Yeah, did you find the reaction any different to previous albums that you'd done, or better, worse?
I just feel like people got more behind us than ever. You know, we sold 1,000 LPs in a week, and then
amazing
repress. So that's good for a little small time band like us.
Yeah, and all the singles sold out, I think, and they since. Sorry,
no, go for it, boy.
So I was going to say all the singles sold really well and sold out, and you know, since gone to command higher prices on Discogs and things like that, and a lot more positive responses. People getting in touch, and we had a different set of pluggers on it this time, and it's hit better on the radio, and it got out further, and but just people seem to enjoy it a lot more. Maybe it's because our music is essentially quite joyous, and people needed a bit of a lift, and it kind of hit the mood right. Maybe, I mean. That's what some of the reviews were saying, you know, at a time like this, blah blah blah. Well, cheer up.
Yeah, I think it's been I think it's been amazing to see people get behind artists and people really support artists, because I think everyone's realized that it's a pretty shit time for us all at the moment, and with no real end in sight, proper end in sight anyway. So I guess it's been amazing to see people get behind the streams and music and stuff.
Exactly. A lot of people out there from different walks of life and work forces have done their bit, but in their own little way, the DJ community is
totally
either because they're narcissistic idiots who want people to look at them all the time, but they've definitely stepped up and gone, this is what we do, is what we're going to continue to do. You need it, we need to do it. So let's find a way of doing it. I remember when the first people started getting onto Instagram and things, you think, people just bubbling up and just having to do it, finding the cracks. And then we all had to learn how to be video DJs, and I'd never really videoed myself DJing or anything like that, and that kind of nerve-wracking experience of not wanting to F up and get that right, and then learning OBS and all these different online platforms and bits of software for doing what we're doing now.
Yeah, I wonder if people just watching DJs put all this together just think it sort of magically happens.
Yeah.
I know. Oh, you just plug your computer in. It's like people coming up and going, "I've got that track. It's on Spotify." You can play that tune.
Well,
Totally.
Speaking of that, you heard that the new Serato's got some kind of beatboard integration. So when someone comes up and says, "Have you got that tune?" You say, "Well, yes, I probably have." So
that can't get leaked to the public. That can only needs to stay with the DJs.
Yeah,
edit that out.
This is getting edited out. I wanted to ask you guys how the Allergies first came about, because I remember when we were just sort of starting out. I think it was Shindig one year. Was it maybe 2016 or 20? Must have been maybe 2016 that we.
It was one of the
Shindig.
One of the early Shindigs, maybe like the first or second one.
What, DJing or
DJing? Yeah.
45s or was it?
Nah, I think it was.
I don't remember that much, Roy.
Yeah, we've probably played there in various incarnations, and then we did like a 45 Sunday, and then maybe a year off. Then after that, we did the live band, which was very well received. But we would have met there or?
Well, no, that was the first time that we were introduced to you guys. Okay. I think we'd maybe met you as well, but I was kind of interested to find out how you guys actually met and how the Allergies came about.
First off, what was your first impressions of us? That'd be interesting.
Do you know what?
Amazing. Really
couple of dicks. No, genuinely, what stood out for me was that you were playing in the Ghetto Funk nightclub, and obviously you weren't playing.
That's it.
Ghetto Funk. So straight away, like we were slightly more maybe drawn to your sound than some of the other lineup that on those kind of stages. So yeah, you kind of. The old ears started pricking up.
I suppose we have a similar respectful way of dealing with the past in terms of music, don't we? Rather than more of that camp would have gone a bit more full force, a bit more wobbly.
Just a bit more electronic style,
dynamic.
Yeah, it was just a bit more kind of similar to our sort of vibe, I guess. So yeah. It was,
your original question is how did it all start? When me and Roy met on the festival circuit, we were DJing for somebody called Chai Wallers, which is a big festival tent and stage that went around to lots of festivals. And back then we were just sort of party rocking DJs who were just there to do a job, really, make everyone dance, have a great time, get battered. And I was traveling up with a good mate of mine called Adam, and we met Roy and just hit it off like big time. And we'd end up, then we started traveling to all these festivals with Roy, doing the car rides together, chatting lots. Then it came about that me and Roy ended up living together, and that's when we started just, we had a little studio, didn't we? A big spare room. We're like, let's turn that into a studio, and that's
that rent didn't go up for years. It was brilliant. Actual spare room vibes. And I'd had some ideas kicking about. I'd got a bit disillusioned with it, and I thought I could just make it as a DJ, getting, doing stuff on Solid Steel Radio and award-winning mixtapes and stuff. But people wanted to book artists, and it's like I wasted all my time making super intricate mixtapes when it'd be easier to kind of force all that into 3.5 minutes and then try and make some tunes like that. So I played him a few ideas I had. I think they're still available on Bandcamp, I think. 2012 to 14, around there, I think.
Right.
He brought his kind of drum and bass polishing expertise to this stuff and give me some confidence in the bit side work I was working on. And if you listen to some very early mixtapes, it's kind of like RJD2E. We didn't know any vocalists. It was all sample based. So just trying to make DJ ammo. That's what all DJs do, crossover into production. Just trying to make something that makes their DJ set stand out, and something hopefully other people will play and associate with them. So I'm trying to think of the names of it. No.
What, the songs?
Yeah, the early ones.
Oh, Big Star and Symphonics. Put out. Yeah,
they're still all right. I mean, you'd probably listen back to them now, you'd go, you could have retroactively micromanaged the snare processing or something, but it's about the vibe and about what pots we were dealing with in terms of record and crates and things. And I think try and never get away from that first germ of an idea. I think always go back to your first stuff and go, why did you want to become an artist? Because it's going to get to a point where you go, right, I need to pay the bills. How are we going to appeal to the most people? And that's probably the reason why we wanted to get into the first place, is to have your own style, a bit of integrity. So, whose dog's that?
Well, that's having a great time.
Can you hear that? Yeah.
Have you been any more doggy dates?
Let me close my door.
Bring it in. I got a cat somewhere.
Postman's probably here. So speaking of the creative process, what's your kind of usual if you're sitting down and you've got another album project on the horizon? What's the kind of do you tend to write together, or is it separate things?
Here's what's happened for this one. Long period off to just reset the tone and the batteries and think. Otherwise, you're just going from one project that's not been received, so you don't know how people receive it, into the next one. So a little bit of a gap, see what people think of the last work, and then just try and find some new inspiration. So I've just been going out listening to pirate radio stations from the late 80s and mixtapes from the 90s and different eras, and trying to get inspired by how people made records back in the day and think about, like I was saying, what we used to do and how that works. And then it's building up a bank of samples that could be profitable to use, and then agreeing on what might work there. And then I've been putting together arrangements and then send to Adam. We're at a stage now where we've agreed on what works, and now we're polishing new bits. So I nip down to his studio in Bath, and I stand over his shoulder going, "Too loud, not loud enough." Then Andy picks it up, doesn't he?
Yeah, different tracks work a bit differently as to how much whoever puts in or whatever. Some of the band tracks Andy will be quite involved in, and he'll end up writing lyrics for people, and
right.
you know, and then we might actually employ session musicians if we feel like it needs extra horns on it or something like that. So those ones I'm a lot more involved in, because it ends up with a lot more mixing and engineering and all that sort of business. Whereas sometimes Roy will just make an absolute banger, and it just needs a decent mix down. So varies different stuff really, but I think our albums have got quite a lot of different stuff on, and stuff sounds quite different across them. So that's where it sort of comes from really. There's a lot of not just us, a lot of people involved. We've had Mr. Widnow involved, who's been a great sax player, and various artists, session people put in their 5 pence in as well, really. So
Andy's studio in LA, he's got his mate Jungle Josh, who lays down guitar work. Andy he's multi-instrumentalist.
Jungle Josh.
Jungle Josh, yeah, look him up. And
absolutely great name.
Yeah. So he's his in-house collaborator, and they kind of help polish the tracks as well. And also Andy's missus, Tina Cooper, she's accredited with BVs or backing vocals, the initiated out there. So if you hear someone that sounds like a 10-year-old boy screaming in the background, that's his missus.
Yeah, and is she Scottish?
She is.
She is, yeah.
Scottish,
she's from
like Fife, is she not? Like East Coast.
That's right. Yeah, he's always saying he's a Fifer.
So we met her and Andy when you guys were doing. No, he was doing a solo thing.
Yeah, he would have been touring his first solo album, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're talking about Andy for people who don't know.
Yeah.
Andy Cooper from US outfit Ugly Duckling. How did that relationship come about?
Well, quick note, he's got a new album out called Listen, and a new single called The Man, which you can get from the Our Label or Oragu Bandcamp page. That's wicked. Nice. Well, I was a resident DJ in Cardiff, a few hip-hop nights out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and he would come through with Ugly Duckling, blow the roof off the place. So I always knew him then, but never enough to kind of form any working relationship with. And then me and Adam booked him to play in Cardiff, or we were on the same bill.
Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol, thank you. And that was in Start the Bus, probably, fuck knows the dates. But yeah, we got up the confidence to get an email correspondence going and send him some tracks we're working on, which were rock, and blast off. Just like,
I think we were in a lucky place in that he was sort of happening to ending his career with Ugly Duckling, and kind of on the lookout for some other dudes to work with. Whether I don't think he's properly canned it, but for now it's definitely on hold, and he was looking for some other cats to work with, probably in the back of his mind, and we just happened to step in there and send him some stuff that pricked his ears up. And it was a bit of getting to know each other, how each other worked. I think he was a bit cautious about us and like working with new people at first, but then once he realized how great and nice we are, man, he was just overjoyed to work with us, you know.
Yeah, it's inspiring to work with him, because he's such attention to detail and such a big picture person as well. and such a great songwriter and arranger. I think the time we worked with him, he just kind of co-wrote a fucking musical. So
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
some kind of a, what do they call it, a jukebox musical about kind of 70s soul, I think. Yeah, anyway, I can't remember what that was called, but definitely he's looking to get more musical and artistic and move away from kind of loop-based rap stuff. So when we presented him with a chance to help write Northern Soul tracks and like blistering up tempo funk numbers, he, you know, banging
jumped at the chance.
Yeah, man.
And it must be nice to have that in your mind when you're writing music that you know that you can send, you know, writing in mind with Andy Cooper, you know, being the vocalist. It must be great.
As soon as you get a groove going, you're like, he'd murder this, or well, it might be a brick wall arrangement wise. What kind of change he puts in?
Just to have like a rapper of that caliber and quality on hand is brilliant, because when you're trying to work with somebody new, it's not always brilliant as an experience. You can send stuff and then you will get something that's really half-assed sent back, and then you're like, right, I've got to try and turn this into something decent now, and it's just not going to happen with him. What you're going to get back is going to be perfectly in time, perfectly, on the money with the vibe of what you wanted. So take it for granted probably.
And also enough good stuff in the bank with our personalities that we know we're not going to offend each other if we say you can do better, which is something you're not going to feel brave enough doing if you get Johnny Big Rapper in the mix and pay massive money and then kind of like, who's going to email him, tell him he's swearing too much?
Yeah. Totally.
But Andy, I think we all know that we've all got precious egos, but we know we're not going to step on each other's, which is to get the creative juices going. You've got to be brave enough to try something new and resilient enough to take a bit of criticism as well. So.
Yeah, for sure.
So who else have you got on the album as guests on the album? I saw you put out a video. I think you've got Syntax and Skunkadelic. Is that right?
Yeah, man. Right. We brought those dudes together for the track "I'm On It," which is going to get a 45 release in October as well. They'd both done stuff on Push On and Steal the Show, but we just thought they would sound really good together as well because they had these big boomy voices that are larger than life characters and all that stuff. And it was dope. That's for me, that's one of the highlights on the album. What else we got? Dynamite MC, long time fan of him, and especially because I'm a drum and bass head back in the day, so that was super cool to work with him. He's so nice, man. He's so humble and just like.
He's also got a new album out, is he not?
Yeah, he's got an album out on Hospital called Playing in the Dark with DRS, I think. Which is really good. Go and check it out.
Definitely.
Give that guy some love. He deserves it. Who else? Cuban Brothers?
Cuban Brothers, yeah. I don't know if you saw. Did you see his Instagram?
I've been aware of his Instagram.
Have you seen the latest photo that he put up about? Now he's got that rum thing.
Yes.
He's doing,
yeah.
And somebody won a competition for him to go down and do a gig.
Right, yeah.
And if you go on his Instagram and scroll down, the first photo you'll see is him
with his bollock out.
Well, he's pretty much naked, and I think there was a disabled lady in a wheelchair, and it's like him basically like
thrusting,
sitting upon her. I mean, it's just like
wow,
sounds about right.
It's the most awkward
well,
thing.
You're constantly ready to receive a lap dance if you're in a wheelchair. So.
Yeah,
we had big.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, we had big plans for that single, but that got released just at the start of lockdown. We couldn't even we're going to make a video for it and go and
the big idea was to go to Cuba and film a fucking street parade and get in that and sing the song and shoot all this crazy carnival vibes. That would have been insane.
That is a good idea.
We had Mike on the show and he was chatting about the plans for the video, but obviously lockdown put that to bed, unfortunately.
Yep.
So we had a few other ideas, but it just wouldn't have had the grandeur, scale, and fun and frisson of excitement and energy that would have. Just trying to recreate that on a isolation tip and budget would have been pointless, unfortunately.
Yeah. So new
still waiting
single
on a bottle of rum though, Mike, if you're out there.
Yeah, shout out, Mike. So new single out October, did you say there, Adam?
Yeah, it's going to be the last little punt at radio, really, with 2 tracks. I've not actually meant to give it away, and I've given away one of them, haven't I? Doesn't really matter.
Right.
It's going to be Get Yourself Some, and yeah, I'm on it. So yeah, and then we're knee deep in the next album already. So
wow,
you might even see a follow up next year.
Wow, there you go.
If you play your cards right.
Speaking of albums, I don't know if you saw Spotify CEO recently coming out and saying about artists and releasing music regularly. Obviously you've been pretty prolific with your albums over the last few years. You're on to number 4 now. Is that something you're probably going to continue with? In that?
Was he saying like artists
saying?
should be a commodity and release music regularly?
Yeah, so basically,
they're entitled to an income.
Yeah, he said that you can't go from, you can't have the model of like, just releasing an album every 3 or 4 years and,
It's not a sausage factory though, is it?
Well, that was what, obviously, there was a massive pushback from a lot of the community going, well, hang on a minute, mate. Like, it's not all about just churning out everything, every 3 months.
Maybe the album format is a kind of thing of a bygone era. We love releasing on physical formats, and creating things with an album arc to it allows you to tell a long story or whatever. But maybe people aren't just absorbing or digesting music like that. So if you took an album, essentially 12 to 14 songs, and instead released a song a month and didn't really do an album, you would have a string of material you could harp on about that might fit that business model. But
we definitely left a bit more of a gap from the Steal the Show album to Say the Word. It was almost a year and a half, like maybe even pushing on 2 years, and that we did do that on purpose because we did think, well, blimey, put 3 albums out in 3 years pretty much. Let's chill off a bit and focus on the quality. So we did do that. I think the feeling now, though, is that put all our eggs in that basket and not been able to tour this bastard album. So let's do another one. And hopefully by next summer, we might be able to be touring that a bit more. But still don't know, do you? Could be in exactly the same situation.
Yeah.
The other thing is when you do release these albums in lockdown or whatever, and people get a chance to listen to them in their house, when we do eventually go on the road, hopefully they'll know the songs a bit more, because when you tour an album, it's pretty much brand new. So it's kind of unless the song's absolutely popping, getting everyone buzzing off hearing it for the first time, it's kind of good to maybe people can find their favorites then.
Yeah, totally. So new single out in October, webcam jams every Saturday, 9:00 UK time. Anything else you want to shout about that you've got coming up?
Yeah, not much else to push really then. I think we've kind of covered it all.
Yeah, just come and find us on the socials. Turn up to our gardens and stare through the windows, whatever you want to do. Say hello, support. We've got a patreon.com/the Allergies. I see you're into that. It's another good conversation to have about.
Yeah, we just started that,
Yeah. Looking at your tiers, good stuff. And just the things you can offer people, and about having a regular value for money for your fans who like to support. And if they think a coffee a week to keep these guys lights on and keep the music coming, brilliant. But then the further up the chain you get and the more you offer people, the better for that higher tier. So what are your kind of top tier ones? Are you offering
we're doing
advice or music advice? Or
we're doing it's kind of like a mentoring thing, I suppose. We're offering like Zoom chat, so people can chat to us for an hour or so a month, and we're available. What's that?
From prison.
Yeah, totally. And then
that's cool. That's cool.
Over the last 10 years, to get from where we were as promoters to what we're doing now, we've amassed quite a good wealth of knowledge about things you need to do and never thought you would need to do in the music
that's
industry.
Interesting. So you're offering,
if people are just starting out, or how do I get booked for a festival? What do I need to do with SoundCloud? Blah blah blah. It's just us being able to sit down, have a chat like we're doing, and steer people in the right direction, which I think is a good way. It might take you a couple of months or 6 months to learn something, but if you've got someone there helping you, what you could learn in an hour.
That's good, because a lot of people, that's quite a broad thing as well. And, someone just going, how do I start? Yeah, it's a conversation that you might not be privy to. So,
Exactly. Plus, there's 2 of us there as well. So
yeah.
It's good value for
value for money.
There you go.
Although
And
no
we
one
do,
signed up yet, so.
Well,
Nobody signed up for that one yet.
well, you also give away edits and tracks as well, which is a bonus, isn't it? I mean,
yeah.
that's
So
great
like,
value. You were doing that on Twitch as well, weren't you? Throwing those.
yeah,
out.
we've been chucking out some stuff on Twitch. Again, I just stole that from someone else's stream. I thought it was quite a good idea, but yeah, that was the hardest thing for us, was pitching the Patreon tiers and trying to get them all like so they are a kind of value for money and so the next one's kind of slightly more enticing than the one before and stuff like that. But
yeah, because I think we're both offering guest list tickets and stuff if people want to get into.
Yeah. If you want to come to our gigs,
no return on that one,
yeah. Re-edit on that one, don't we?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no,
well,
stick
we're down
with
to
it. It's
the.
worth it. I mean, we've got ours to a place where like it's almost bringing in the money from like one half decent gig a month now, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And just if we can double that, that would be super awesome. So check it out, people. Get behind your artists on patreon.com.
Yeah.
And there's also buy us a coffee, ko-fi.com /the allergies as well, I think, where that's the kind of thing you throw out on Twitch, isn't it? A little link to go. You might not be linked up to Patreon, but if you want to just quickly go beep, beep, and send us 12 pence or whatever.
Yeah, totally.
Send us free money, everybody. That's all.
Cap in hand, people. Not too proud to beg.
Absolutely.
Well, I think we might have to end it there, Jamie.
Yeah, I've got the less than a minute warning. So
the flashing lights.
Means I've got enough time to go and get a sandwich before my lesson.
Yeah,
exactly.
Any last questions? Where the babies come from?
No, because I think we're literally about to run out of time, so I'll wrap up so we can get.
Wave us all.
So yeah, amazing,
guys.
Peace and love.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Look forward to seeing you in the flesh and smelling you soon.
Absolutely, boys. Thanks for taking the time.
No worries.
We'll speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Cheers, boys.
Guys, catch you. Bye.
Have fun editing this nonsense. Peace.